visitor. There's no guesswork in the clockwork of the... Hey everyone, sorry if I was listening to some music. That was Carolina in the Pines by Michael Martin Murphey. That was part of it. I'll be reading Immortal Love Story with Bite by PC Cass. The next story is going to be by... I already did Haunted Love already. I wish I had a bookmark for this book. Amber Smoke by Kristen Cass, who is PC Cass's daughter. And chapter 2 of My Almost Flawless Tokyo Dream Life. Yes, I kind of got it because of the little kitty on it. As you can tell, the outline with the ears, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the paw right here, the collar. Now we get to chapter 2 of this book. Oops, I went too far. Okay. Let me tell my Facebook followers I'm going to go live there. Just like I'm doing. Then I'm going to jump over on Facebook to do some videos there. Probably as much as I can. The reason why I haven't been doing videos that much. Oh, thank you for 109 subscribers. I appreciate it. We beat my husband by, I want to say he has 102 and I have 109. 9 minus 2, 7 followers. Okay. I am going live on YouTube. My YouTube name is BQL. Whoops, I was about to spell my own username wrong. LLA8191. Join me if you want to. If not, then I will be on Facebook after the video on YouTube is done. You are, whoops, you are very much. Okay. I'm going to see how it looks on my page. Okay, it is good. I was playing some more Carolina in the Pines on my strawberry Bluetooth. I have powered it up. There's no buttons to help you with the volume. I checked. I pressed every last button on this thing and none of it works. Hey Deborah, how are you doing? That's good. I'm glad you're doing well. I'll be doing Immortal Love Stories with Bite by PC Cass. Well, the next story is Amber Smoke by Kristen Cass. Something happened with a family member. I'm not going to go into much details. That's why we didn't come back. I understand, Deborah, that you wanted us to come back. I will let Eric know, but you was busy with your training and everything. That's why we didn't come back. Okay. Sorry we upset at you, Deborah. Okay, let's get started with the first book. Of Immortal Love Stories with Bite. Amber Smoke by Kristen Cass. From the place in the bowels of the underworld, the Furies, daughters of night, summon their son. They are skeletal winged creatures, the black of rotting flesh thinly stretched across their hunched, quivering bodies, not much more than flesh sacks, barely able to contain the power of each of their morphic talents. Iakos, come. He was birthed eons ago from the womb of vengeance. Convinced by jealousy and grown in constant anger, bred to defend mortals, he was sent from their underground realm to the world above, and there, away from their poison, he learned compassion. At first, only so that he could mimic and blend. Later, after centuries, humanity took hold within him, casting the Furies' unending confusion with their errant son, this man who grew up and away from them. Echoes appeared, his Harjakan body glowing from the descendants the return home. Yes, my mothers. He stepped down from the ledge he was summoned to, his torn jeans dragging through the soles of the doomed as he strode towards the three creatures in the dark. He can hear their wings rustling with the excitement of his return. Although he had been there only weeks before, they had not seen him in years. Time ticks by slowly below. As he approaches, they gently grabbed him and led him further into the nothing, further from the whines of the torture. Sit, sit, they commanded. He sits. That's good, Deborah. I'm glad you got to management. He sits and puts his feet nonchalantly up on the table. The longer you're up there, the more disgusting and human you become. Their throats creak, clack, and rattle as they speak as one. He removes his feet and snaps his fingers. All lamps flicker on, revealing a cave wet and pure with chaos and death. The three figures huddled together, staring at their sun across a cured stone table on which sits a bouquet of night blooming moonflowers, the delicate color of infant's flesh. Slowly they began to rock back and forth as they are one and not three. Their eyes are dark and endless and drip with the blood of the tortured. The snakes in their hair altered between attacking and creasing one another. The fates have decided her cord is being cut tonight. At first they spoke as one, then break apart, finishing each other's thoughts. You must find her, give her life, save her, so she can give us vengeance. The Furies clicked with amusement as his mind is flooded with the picture of a beautiful young woman, long chestnut hair, chocolate eyes, olive skin, and a black dress. They have chosen her for him. He blinks and stands. Elikos knows he was the only there for this, the gift of his mission. It is now time for him to depart, and for the first time in centuries, he feels nervous, excited, alive. Thank you, mothers. He turned to leave. Oh, Furies, mothers. He glanced back to see them still swaying. Where do I find her? They closed the black hole, then served as their eyes, rubbed each other tightly, and sent their beautiful son to the modern world, but the sounds of their shrieks echoing their farewells. Stop and stare. You start to wonder why you're here, not there. Ryan Chender's melodic voice came booming out of my black cell phone, waking me up from a much-needed nap. I groaned around my nightstand unsuccessfully for my glasses, seriously blind as a bat. I quickly gave up on reading the glowing caller ID. Instead, I flipped open the phone. Hello? Oh my God, Gina, were you sleeping? The annoyed tone picked me up out of the dream world I was loathing in and threw me back into reality. Bridget, no. Sleeping? Me? No. I perkly pretend. Good. Well, I was just calling to remind you to bring your camera tonight. We're going to have so much fun at Taylor's hotel party. I can't wait. Being seniors is so much fun. What are you wearing? I think my little black strapless dress with my mom's new gold shoes. Bridget sucked in air. No way. Those strappy heels from Saks. That is so unfair. We're going to have to look super hot like always. Ugh. Hang on, my mom was yelling at me. She moved the mouthpiece from her cell phone away so I could hear her muffled whines at her mom. Okay, Mom. She wants me to tell you not to forget your cell phone because that gross serial killer guy just killed someone else. Well, duh, he's a serial killer. Geez, sorry, she so protective and weird. But anyways, I have to go finish getting gorgeous. See you at the Ambassador at 10. Love you, and don't forget the digital. The line went dead, and how is she so happy? I stood up, stretched, found my glasses laying on the floor next to my nightstand, and looked at the clock. 7:57 p.m. Crap, no time for a shower. As I sleeplessly wandered the 5 feet from my bed to my ocean-themed bathroom, I could hear my mom screeching at me from her room down the hall. Jeannie, do you know where my gold strappy shoes are? I just bought them and they already mysteriously disappeared. She walked into my room and looked around. I poked my head out of the bathroom door, my hair falling straight into the toothpaste. I just squeezed into the brush. Mom, if you're going to come in here, why do you have to yell at me from down the hall? Saves time. which I don't have much of. Paul's going to be here. She looked down at her watch. In less than an hour. Nope. Haven't seen them. Sorry, I hardly ever lie to my mom. She's too good at catching me, but this was different. It was the first party of my senior year of high school, and I had to look the best. And I'm pretty sure Paul had seen them already. She's been in with the nerdy mortician for the last 6 months. Besides, the gold is hot right now. Ask anyone. Yeah? Well, if you've seen them, let me know. She wasn't looking at me. Instead, she continued to take inventory of my room. Yeah, okay. I started trying to keep the annoyed. I'm running like two-tone out of my voice. Sucked the toothbrush into my mouth. I stuck the toothbrush into my mouth. Deborah said she had passed and got promoted to management. What, baby? I'm on YouTube, and Deborah said she waited for us to return, and she trying and got promoted to management and got promoted to management. Okay. She started to leave, and her dark curly bounced around her shoulders, making her suddenly look a lot younger than 40-something-year-old mom. She paused at the door, and Janine, don't forget to take Mr. Pepper. He's in his spot by the front door. Oh Lord, Mr. Pepper. I want to actually be popular this year. Not be known as the girl who carries around pepper spray. I finished brushing my teeth, put on my contacts in, and stood staring in the mirror at my messed up locks. Up till I decided. I began wrapping my fingers around my tangled hair in an attempt to turn it into an intentionally messy little ponytail when the cute Ryan Tedder again blurred through the room. I quickly clipped my hair up and glanced down at the sink where I had set my phone. Connor, the picture of his goofy smile, sandy, shaggy hair, and gray eyes made my stomach jump. Hey, I answered casually, pretending not to be excited. Hey, I thought you never answered. What are you doing? Nothing. I rolled my eyes. Nothing. I am so lame. Oh, well, that's cool. I just want to see if you're coming to Taylor's thing tonight. There's going to be a DJ and his older brother's bringing vodka and beer and stuff, so it should be pretty awesome. Of course I'm going. It's only like the biggest social event of the semester. Yeah, I think Bridget and I'll probably make an appearance. Good. I'll definitely look for you then. Definitely. See you tonight. I hung up before I could start rambling about my undying love for him. Oh my God, he's so effing hot. I fought off the urge to call Bridget and babble semi-hysterically about Connor about actually calling me, and instead trotted to my closet on a wave of happy. He's almost my boyfriend thoughts, where my black Tinkerbell cocktail dress hung waiting. Then I began digging my mom's cute gold shoes out of hiding from underneath my dirty clothes. Sally, Mom chose that instant to prove that her braider wasn't fading with age. Thankfully, she knocked on the door, giving me a split second of warning. I jumped Mother. I tried to plaster on an innocent smile as I jerked around to look at her. I'm not yelling this time. Ew. She looked at the wad of clothes I gathered to camouflage her shoes. Don't tell me you're wearing something dirty to your little get-together thing tonight. No, Mom, I'm just looking for my headband. You almost made me pee on myself. Sorry. Anyway, Paul's here, so I'm heading out on my date. Maybe I'll even have a little sex, hee hee. She made herself giggle and turn red as she left me with that disgusting mental picture. Oh, barf. Is everyone having sex except me? I stood up and thought about Connor. Wait, it's been an hour already. I looked around to face the clock. 9:03. Shit. I frantically dressed myself, found the shoes, and ran into the bathroom to put on my face. Luckily, it only takes a little eyeliner and mascara to bring me back from the dead. I checked my phone, 9:21 p.m. Okay, shoes. And then 30-minute drive to the Ambassador. The shoes, however gorgeous they may be, took me about 20 minutes for me to buckle. I'm not a contourist. Feet aren't supposed to bend like that. Stupid, gorgeous shoes. I ran downstairs, grabbed Mr. Pepper and my gold clutch, checked my lip, checked for lip gloss and my ID, and nearly tore the key hook out of the wall in my efforts to bolt out of the front door. Please start. I said a quiet prayer as I ran down the front sidewalk, clutching autumn leaves on my way. I got in and turned the key to my 1969 cherry red Mustang. It's a super cute red. It's a super cute car. It doesn't always run. Vroom! Success. I took off down the street and got about 5 miles away from my house before my super cute car died. I drove my head against the steering wheel, banged it a few times, and felt around the passenger seat for my cell phone. Of course, you forget it, Jenna. And the camera. Damn it. Jenna's gonna be pissed. I slouched down in my seat, smashing the puffiness out of my dress, and silently cried for my mommy, as if my mom had magically appeared. Her words tickled in through my teeth. Jen, use your best pass, you silly girl. I got it for you because your car kind of sucks. Well, duh. I stopped crying and checked my eyes in the rearview mirror. Thank God for waterproof makeup and clothes bust up. My mom's gold shoes were definitely not going to made for walking. When I got to the bus stop, I chose to stand alone while the three other people crammed themselves on a bench made for two for two. This would be so much easier and way less gross if I had just remembered my phone. Now I have completely passed being fashionably late and entered the "you think you're too good to actually be here" time. And what if Connor is dancing with someone else? It's you, a male voice broke through my intentional rant. Great, I haven't been here 10 minutes and I'm already getting hit on by a bus person creeper. Well, I'm glad you think so. I angrily angled my back toward him and turned my attention to my clutch and my friend Mr. Pepper. I haven't I have got to get a new car. You don't understand. I feel him getting closer to show him my hands into my clutch. No, but I don't think you understand. If you say another syllable in my general directions, I whipped him out the pepper spray so the Mr. Pepper label was clearly visible. I will spray this thing right in your holy hell. I suck in a night air to oxygenate a small country as I shot off of my pillow. Stop and stare. You start to wonder why you're here, not there. My hands were shaking so bad I could hardly open my phone. Hello? Hey, Jenna, I was calling to remind you to bring your camera tonight. We're going to have so much fun at transporting. I can't wait. Being senior is so much fun. What are you wearing? My black dress with my mom's new gold shoes, huh? What? I rubbed my face trying to reorient myself. Bridget gasped. No way. Those new strappy heels from Sykes? That is so not fair. We're going to look super hot like always. I rumbled interrupted her, mumbling. Is this a joke, Bridget? Jen, you know I take fashion and parties very seriously. Are you okay? You weren't sleeping, were you? No, I'm fine. Just having a mad case of deja vu. Thirst burned the back of my throat and my head pounded with confusion. I was not okay. Creepy. Anyway, try not to go crazy after tonight, okay? Ugh, hang on, my mom's yelling at me. Bridget's familiar whines were muffled. She wants me to tell you not to forget your cell phone because the girl's serial killer guy just killed someone else. Well, duh, he's a serial killer. Geez, sorry, she's so protective and weird. But anyway, I have to go finish getting gorgeous. See you at the Ambassador at 10. Love you, and don't forget the digital. I closed the phone and dropped it on the floor and I fell back onto my fluffy pillow. What in the what in the hell kind of dream was that? I rolled over and looked at my alarm clock at my clock. 7:57. Weird. Jenna, do you know where my gold strappy shoes are? I just bought them and they already mysteriously disappeared. I had staring at her as she stood in the doorway. She's surprised, surrounded surrounded by a strange vanilla cloud of mist. I rubbed my eyes and blinked a few times and went away. And it went away. Mom, what did you say? My shoes, the good ones from Saks. Look, Jenna, it's okay if you wore them, but if you really don't have time, but I really don't have time for this. Paul's gonna be here. She pointed at her down the march in less than an hour. So, no, I haven't seen them. Well, if you do, let me know. Pause. She stared at me with her forehead all scrumpled. What? Nothing. For a second, I judged you. You seem different. Well, you have fun tonight. Oh, and Jenna, don't forget Mr. Pepper. He's in his spot by the front door. I sat up in my bed, staring at the door. It was just a dream. A really weird, freaky dream. Oh, I gotta, move my legs. I bet if I think about it longer, I'll have played poker with the beaver and Abe Lincoln like that in Insomnia commercial. A white light burned through my mind along with a picture and a memory. I had an insanely vivid flash of the guy at the bus stop with two words scrambled through my mind. Find me. What the hell? I lifted up the covers to make sure I was wearing clothes and had all my limbs completely intact. What is going on? I heard from beside me. You start to wonder why you're here, not there. Leaning over, I slowly picked up the phone off the floor, kind of just like before. This time I hit the ignore button with shaky fingers and turned the phone on silent. Maybe I need some water. I'll rehydrate. Wake up. As I got out of bed, I felt something jab the bottom of my foot. I pick up the corner of my glasses, which I had just smashed. Wait, I can see. I shouldn't be able to see. I stuck my finger in my eye. No contact. Weird deja vu dreams, recurring blonde as a badness. I stared at myself in the bathroom mirror. Is this what people look like when they're crazy? What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Jenna, just go get some water and have some extra strength Tylenol. I told myself, hoping speaking my thoughts out loud would bring some sanity to my mind. As I passed my mom's open door on my way downstairs to the kitchen, I heard her wiggly familiar words. Hey, Paul's here. Hey, Paul's here, so I'm heading out on my date. Maybe I'll even have a little sex. He had cringed as she fluttered past me. That doesn't get any better than the second time around. I glanced at the clock on the wall, 9:03. I took comfort in doing something as normal as getting a glass from the cabinet, my normal cabinet, and water from my sink, a normal sink. A cool fall wind blew up through the partially open window, bringing the familiar smell of autumn leaves to me, just like before, just like when I was walking to my car. My brain launched itself into another flashback seizure as my mind filled with another painful vision. I dropped my glass and it shattered, raining shards of crystal at my feet. Find me, his voice sounded more impatient, and it was coupled with images from the bus stop. That. Then I knew. I didn't know how, and I didn't know why, but I knew he was there waiting for me. I didn't even notice anything wrong with my foot until I was upstairs putting on my shoes. I was shocked by the small pieces of glass that had stuck in my heel. Blood was staining my fuzzy green carpet. As I patiently pull out the glass, I brought it to my face. Holy crap, my blood wasn't my blood anymore. It was no longer bright red and paint smelling. Instead, it was dull amber, and the sweet, soothing smell relaxed me and made me feel at home. I really need to find this guy who is in my head. My foot's completely healed by this time. I put on my coach tennis shoes and ran down the stairs and out the door. And I like the chick of heroes, the one who heals herself over and over again. I hesitated as I reached my car. Jenna, maybe driving is not such a good idea. Not only are you getting weird voice messages in your head, but today seems like maybe some sort of twisted repeat of so why would your car work this time? I find that sometimes talking to myself is the best way to sort through my problems. And I am such a good listener. Where is a do-gooder near when you need one? I looked, but of course, Chevrolet is dead, and so was my neighborhood. Yeah, I just wanted to be at a freaking bus stop, people. I closed my eyes and threw a mini temper tantrum, stomping my feet like a toddler in the toy store. There was a sudden rush through my body that made me feel like I was falling off a building. When I unsquished my face and looked around, I realized I was there at the freaking bus stop, and I was sitting on my butt in the middle of the sidewalk. What? Well, that's not right. Hey, hey, shit, yelled a familiar male voice. You! I scrambled backwards through a pool of my own amber blood and was amazed when I felt only adrenaline, not one bit of pain from coming into such close contact with the concrete. I've gone completely insane and it's all your fault. Turn me back. He reached out and grabbed my flailing hands to pull me up, and I was smothered by a rush of calming autumn air. I opened my eyes, supervised and fixed on him. You okay? He cocked his head to the side and stared back. I think I'm bleeding. Pressed my hand against the back of my head. I came in contact with damp, tangled hair. No pain, just really nappy, wet strength. Well, I thought his smile was slow and a little sarcastic. Actually, it was almost a smirk. He shook his head. What you thought is not even close to the truth. Huh? I said, brilliant. I said, okay, the guy was so majorly hot it was making it hard for me to think. Tall and blonde and delicious, completely Justin Hartley looked like yum. Alex. He stepped back and just a little and his perfect team. My name is Alex. And you need to trust me, not knowing what else to do and feeling completely, utterly overwhelmed. I put my hand out to him for him to shake and added my best attempt to do a head flip. I'm Jenna, I said while the leaves danced around my feet. Jenna, you must come with me. He was looking at me with those incredible green eyes. No, I have to. He covered my hand with his. He felt warm and strong, and the only real thing that touched me since I've fallen into this nightmare. You have to come with me here, Pete. Trust me, I'll tell you everything on the way. Now I know the whole don't go places with strangers thing. But you have to realize that in the middle of all of this utterly unreality, this guy makes sense. I know it sounds bizarre, but he must felt right, and I knew I shouldn't trust him. Like I knew that he had been there waiting for me. All right, yes, I can't say it didn't help that he was so darn sexy. Fine, I'll come with you, but only because I probably am dreaming. He smiled and motioned for me to follow him. I scurried to keep up with his long strides while I tried to untangle my hair and watch his cute butt at the same time. You could bounce a quarter off that thing. Oh my god, I sound like my mother. Talk about gross. I almost ran into him when he came to a abrupt halt beside a fluorescent green car. What is that? A 76 Chevy car piece. Caprice, he said, opening the door for me. It looks like a giant green popsicle, I said. I slid in onto the white leather seat, distracted by the vintageness of the old muscular car, while he went around and got in on the driver's side. I was just getting ready to open my mouth and tell him I had a thing for old cars too, when he leaned over and grabbed my arm, looking looking into my face, and said, "You're not dreaming. You're dead." Dead? I tried to pull him back from him. What the hell? My heart felt like it was going to pound out of my chest instead of letting me go. Alex pressed his body too close to mine and wrapped his arm around me. "Trust me, let me show you," he said. Like his voice was a drug, my body seemed to dissolve into him, and I gasped as still in his arms. I began to float above his jello colored car. Bright specks of light surrounded me. I looked at Alex, who was drifting with me. His eyes glowed the red of a rising autumn moon, just like his eyes had been before at the bus stop. Slowly, I began to remember as we floated through the time back to the moments we first met. He spoke, his voice whispered in my ears. "I was sent here to save you." His words were like, "Miss, look down, remember." I looked below us and saw everything. There I was, dressed in my LBD and hot my mom's hot but not comfortable shoes, pouring my sulking, complaining to myself while I waited for the bus. There were three other people cramped on the tiny bench, and then there was Alec, appearing from nowhere. I glanced questioningly at Alex, who floated with his arms around me. His eyes still burned hunter red, and they still the question on my lips. "Watch." Remember, I looked down again and saw myself point Mr. Pepper at Alex's face. At those eyes that were just as red then as they were now. I could see myself yelling something, and at the same time, I stepped back, and it was then my mom's gorgeous skeletal heels missed the curve, and horrified, I saw my arms wailing as I fell backwards, hitting my head on the concrete with a shrieking thud. And that was it. I didn't move as the people at the bus stop surrounded me, obviously not knowing what to do. Though the middle of them walked Alex, but he was like a shadow in darkness. No one seemed to see him at all as he bent down over my still body and whispered, "Your death was a gift given by the ancients through me. You have been chosen. I am your teacher." Then he bent and covered my dead lips with his. Okay, it was happening, but it wasn't. People were running around down there, literally walking through him while he kissed me, and even though they couldn't see him, I could feel him. What did he do to my dead body? I could now feel happening in my hovering soul as I drank in the exchange of death with life. I should have been terrified. I should have screamed or passed out or flailed against him. Instead, I closed my eyes and let my soul absorb what I had seen. I accepted his gift and knew my world will never be the same. When I opened my eyes, I was back in the car, pressed against Alex's chest. There were no sounds coming from inside of his muscular body, no breath, no heartbeat thumping. I pulled back and stared at him. "Are you even alive?" My head felt funny, all kind of hummy and strange. "I'm alive as you are," he said. "You just been changed. We're different. They used to call us vampires." "Vampires," I squeaked. "I have to drink blood." I almost gagged and just thinking about it. He laughed softly. "It's not blood we drink, it's energy." "Oh God, we suck down electricity?" I frequently try to remember who that chick was on Old Angel reruns who zapped things with her electricity charged hands. His strong arms were still around my waist, and I wondered how they stayed so warm if we were dead. His smile was still in his eyes when he said, "No, it's not like that either. You'll see." His mouth was so close to my ear. Kiss me again. His smile widened, and I felt my face burn with a blush. Could he read my mind? So we kind of match. I blurted, "What?" As he chuckled at my darkness. I put away and positioned myself back on my side of the car. This was depressing. With all of this new power I could feel inside of me, I was still the same lame 18-year-old with no game. What was that? Still smiled. Alex pulled his keys from his pocket and turned on the car. But for a moment, I could swear disappointment flashed across his face. Would he really had kissed me again if I haven't had it gone all so super dark on him? And then vaulted on the other side of the car. Yeah, we matched. I tried to stay as perky as I had been when I ruined the mood. We've been strong, fearless creatures of the night, sent here to do stuff. What exactly do we do? We have all different abilities. He cleared his throat in preparation, and I wonder how many times he had this conversation. I can affect time. That's how I got you to the bus stop since you are taking too long getting there on your own, and that's why you woke up today again. Guess you could call that uh, part of side effect, but I'm not too sure what your ability is. But you'll figure it out pretty soon. It's the same for each of us, but different. You have to discover your your own way. I was sent from below hell. You came from hell. No, or at least not from your idea of hell. Look, I was sent here to help you serve up vengeance on some and to save others. Like you saved me, well, kind of. He sighed and cleared his throat. There are some ancient monsters whose spirits have been locked in the underworld, and occasionally they find ways to escape. If they do, their only goals are to find a body and create the same chaos they did centuries ago. I'm the first of my kind, our kind, and that were made to find these creatures and send them back. So we're more like monster slaying superheroes. Holy shit! What am I? A toddler? He laughed.
Baby, I hate to interrupt. Do you know my 911? Never mind, I see it. I'm sorry.
It's okay, baby. He laughed. I guess you could call it that. I know where to take you. We'll just wing it from here. He put the car in gear and started driving down the street. Wing it. That didn't sound very reassuring. I stared out the window, trying to make myself teleport or move things from my mind when I noticed the reflection in my eyes. They were glowing. They were flashing from the normal plain brown to brilliant amber. That was good, right? I kept looking out the window and trying to concentrate. We passed a crowd of people, even in night movies when it happened again. Oh my god, that's it. I just thought it was part of me going crazy, but it really was my hidden superpower. I giggled, turned to Alex, expecting him to know what I was talking about. What was your healing ability? I can see stuff. It was like with my mom, the weird vanilla smoke I seen around her. I leaned over Alex and pointed out the window to closer people. Like, I know that girl in the pink cardigan and those really cute fuzzy boots is completely and totally in love because I know can see hot pink misty ribbons flowing off of her. Oh, and look at him. I pointed at a guy standing on a corner who no will work for food sign. The smoke stuff around him is all brown and nasty. Hey, he has cancer. I paused, thinking hard and suddenly knew. He has lung cancer and he's gonna die soon. I shivered, not sure how I felt about my new superpower. Plopping myself back in the seat, I stared out the window and watched rainbows of smoke dance off people and twist through the autumn air and knew things I simply shouldn't. That's good. You're learning already. There'll be more to come, though. I closed my eyes and drew a long, shaky breath. You're okay. You're okay. We're here. Alex turned off the car and when I opened my eyes, I had expected to see creepy boat docks or a dark alley. Instead, we were in the middle of a suburban park in front of a brick house identical to the ones on either side of it. You kidding? This is the monster hideout where I'm supposed to fight crime? Alex was already out of the car and I hurried to catch up with him, following his longer legs out the driveway past a familiar SUV. Hey, he spun around and motioned for me to be quiet. I lowered my voice and spoke again, but this is Paul's nearby old Sudan Isuzu. He's saying, my mom, look, it has to be his SUV. I pointed at the window. He has the like 50 tacky evergreen air fresheners hanging from the rearview mirror because he smokes in his car and doesn't want my mom to notice. Obviously, Alex didn't care because he kept walking until he reached the side door and I had to scramble again to keep up. We're going in. We're going in. What? Hell no. Didn't you just hear me? This is Paul's house. And there is no way I'm going in there. Your monster raider is all wrong. Besides, he's on a date with my
I'm going to get
mom.
my stuff
Okay.
from the neighbors. I'm sorry.
It's okay, baby.
I love you.
I love you too. And look, the lights aren't even on. They're probably not here. Or worse, ew, they might be. Alex pressed one hand over my mouth and used the other to guide mine to the door. Can you feel that? His hand lingered on mine, and I wanted him to hold me just like he had earlier. Suddenly, the cold sluggishness of fear crept through the door and made ribbons up my arm. I tried to pull away, but Alex wouldn't let me. Rage and disgust followed. Their hot nails tore at my flesh, though the only marks they left were in my mind on my soul. Alex let loose my hand and repeated, we're going in there. Remember, trust me, I'm your protector. As soon as he finished his sentence, we were on the other side of the door. I really wish he had warned me before he popped us inside. Alex nudged me toward the stairs and back into the reality I was trying to unsuccessfully escape. Like ghosts, we slid noiselessly up to the second floor with each step. The suffocating stench of smoke, fear grew stronger. I wanted to vomit. At the top of the steps, Alex took the lead. I let out a tight sigh. Okay, right, he was my protector. Besides the superpower of zapping us places and kissing me into being a weird kind of vampire, he also kind of being super strong as well as super hot. With him in front, he couldn't beat up any ancient boogie monster things lurking in the dark. We walked into a room absent of all furniture except a metal table, the kind that morticians put dead bodies on. The cold room stank of bleach and blood, and the mixture became red and white ribbons of smoke that bit at my eyes. I scanned the room, amazed at how easily I could see through the smoke and shadows. It was one of those shadows that I saw her clear brown hair. I tore from behind my protector and flew to her side. Mom! The sound burned my ears. Mom! Mom! The soft vanilla I seen surround her earlier barely lingered within the rusty shreds of hopelessness and panic, blending me with fear. Tears washed my face and my throat was hard and dry. Alex, she's not moving, and I don't know what's wrong. He was immediately at my side. I scrubbed at my eyes, wiping away my tears and blinking through the otherworldly mist. He picked up my mother's limp body. She looked so unnaturally still and helpless. It made my stomach roll. My mom was never helpless. She couldn't be. She's breathing. I'm sure she'll be fine, Alex began to reassure me. But like a bad horror movie, that was exactly when the predator entered. Oh, look, it's a party. Jenna, you didn't tell me you wanted to watch. That could have been arranged. I like an audience. The man approaching me looked like the Paul I knew only briefly. Then my eyes grew hot and his body wavered, like heat raising from a hot summer road, and his true form was revealed to me. The smoke that swirled in and out of his body was terrible. It made his evil naked and bare. He was fully exposed to me. I saw the sick creature he truly was. The souls of the people he had murdered shrieked purple ribbons of smoking agony from within him and tried to claw their way out from beneath his gray flesh. His eyes were fixed on me, but they were wiggly and sockets swim with parasites. Putrid life fell from his solid lips and ate the ground where it landed. Thanks to my new superpower, I knew him for who he was, Alistair, a Greek demon who led others to sin and murder. He's the serial killer, and he was hunting my mom. He stopped moving towards us, and his body shimmered again, changed back into Paul my mom had been tricked into caring about. So mommy first, or you, or your boyfriend. And it hit me. The rest of my new gift became clear. It turned to Alex. And in a commanding voice I barely recognized as my own, I uttered, Alex, get her out of here. Call 911. As I turned and faced the demon, how about you start with me, asshole? As I spoke, I threw my arms wide in all of the treadles of motion swirling in my room, in the rooms rushed to me, wrapping around me, filling me with an incredible surge of power. I felt like the dark emotions that had shimmered around Alistair entered my body, and I knew the anger had halted hatred and awful strength of pure evil. My mouth grew teeth I didn't know I had, and my body began to vibrate with the power of the emotions I observed. I didn't think. I just felt and acted. I launched myself at the man my mother trusted, wrapped my hands around his throat, and tried to tear off his suit of flesh. I had never felt so wild and so free. It was good to feel his flesh tear, to see his eyes bug out, to hear his whimper of terror. I was bloated with it, filled with darkness. I wanted to rip him to pieces, but before I could, Alex was pulling me from my opponent. He threw me against the wall so hard that had I been alive, I would have surely died. By the time I shook off the shock and got to my feet, Alex hadn't finished him off. He snapped his neck, let him off easy. I threw myself at Alex, kicking him back. My fangs cut into his bottom lip, and the amber blood that trickled into my tongue only made my rage grew as Alex regained his balance. But instead of hitting me back, he calmly wrapped his arms around my anger bloated body and held me tightly. The hollow sound of his chest and the autumn air that was his scent surrounded us. And just and like a cool fall rain following a baking hot summer, his presence washed the anger from me, leaving me so weak that I began to cry. You can't let it control you. That's where the horror stories of vampires came from. And that's why so many of us have had bad B movies in the nightmare of humans. It's what happened to us when we lose control. It's what happened to us when we lose control. If we had let our powers overwhelm us, then we became the monsters we've been created to hunt. He set his chin on my head, and I could feel him inhale the dry amber blood in my hair. Fading off him Feeding off him was enough. Don't let him taint you. You have to learn to keep the energy and let the evil go. His soul is back below in far worse place than you could ever imagine. Let that be punishment enough. I looked up at him and suddenly understood. You called yourself my protector, but you're not here to protect me from them. You're here to protect me from me. Yeah, that's right. Are you better now? Feel more like yourself? His voice was so deep, so incredible, gentle, and his eyes were so warm that I lost myself in them. And I saw the mist that surrounded him. It was a bright, brilliant amber, the same color as my blood. It reminded me of a clear and early dawn in a new beginning. The tremulous of gold wrapped around me, around us, and I couldn't help myself. I tiptoed and kissed him gently on the lips. His blue eyes opened wide in surprise. Then he bent down and kissed me back, and I sank into him, holding my anchor, my center, my protected general. What's happening? At the sound of my mom's weak voice, Alex and I sprung apart, and I ran to where she lay outside the room of death. I felt Alex move behind me, showing her view of what used to be Paul. It's okay, Mom. It's gonna be fine, I said, reaching out to hold her, breathing a sigh of relief as I saw the vanilla mist that surrounded her once more cream color and healthy, completely free of the taint of death. Alex stayed by my side, holding my hand and helping to strengthen me, keeping me from becoming overwhelmed by all the trials of urgency, pain, and the fear of surgery surged with the presence of the police and the EMTs and the neighbors who had started to mill around the front door like worried sheep. He guided me to my mom through the chaos that was invisible to everyone else, but I was saw as mist within fog so thick and swirling it was overwhelming. Mom was completely conscious, though she had a nasty bump on her head. I was still feeling a little sick with worry until I heard her telling EMT that if she could just have a few annex and a glass of wine, she'll be fixed up and could go home. Miss, you can ride with your mom if you like, the EMT called to me, still smiling at my mom's request for drugs and alcohol. Yeah, I'm coming, I said, and then I turned to Alex. I looked into his blue eyes and saw a future so different than anything I could have dreamed that I suddenly felt shy. I'm gonna ride with her since you know she's hurt. I giggled nervously. Well, of course you do. You were. He pulled me close and kissed me my bubbling lips. Leaves swept around my feet and wind rushed through my matted hair. I know, he breathed and took my nose. I'll follow. You still have a lot to learn. I jumped into the back of the ambulance and watched his cute butt as I walked all the way to his car. As he got into the bright green thing, he looked back at me and his eyes glowed softly. Hey, he called. I think you were right before. I think we do match. I grinned like a fool as the doors to the ambulance closed and my mom started preceding me with who is that tall boy questions. As I tried to make up believable and not get me into trouble answers, I watched through the little glass windows which trails of seizing Emma clung onto the ambulance, guiding, protecting, ushering me into a whole new life. Well, that was the end of chapter 2 of Immortal Love Stories with Bite. The next book I'm reading is What's Wrong, Baby?
I'm just tired.
You want to go to sleep?
Oh, in a little bit, yeah.
My Almost Flawless Tokyo Dream Life. This one shouldn't be too long. I think this is only 5 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, my father, I asked quietly, trying to hold back the rush of emotion swirling in my heart, my brain, every cell in my body. I do, said Uncle Masa, and he would very much like to know you. Is this a joke? I wouldn't joke about a matter this serious, said Uncle Musa. Well, maybe you should, because the idea of ever having a father is a joke to me. Where has the guy been all my life, and why the fuck would I want to go live with him? Mabel would never smile or frown, and it was like her face's only mission was just to get through the day without emotional express. Trustly, she said, you know the rules. Ellie, you're free to vent your anger, but I will not tolerate impolite anger. I'm not going outside of Mabel. You can't make me. I have no intention of making you go. It's your choice, said Mabel. I started to walk down the street just to get away from this nonsense. Haven't I had been through enough already? But Uncle Lisa hurried after me. He made it past me and turned around and bowed again, trying to block my way. Listen to me, Ella. I saw the living room windows blind creep open at Foster home. Number three is not no hot water except on Wednesday's house. Foster parents were clearly smiling. Your father would be so honored for having you to come stay with him in Tokyo, said Uncle Misa, sounding very formal, like he was the butler for this father of mine. You gotta be kidding me. I haven't seen you since I was in middle school. And by the way, my life went to hell in the time you and now you're here with the invitation for me to live with my father, and you never even told me you knew my father. No way, just no. And I was starting to sputter. There was too much to say, to ask, to know already. And why is he suddenly ready to be in my life? Can't be bothered to show up in person. Reggie's dad was in the military. Was a military hero. Reggie's dad was a military hero who killed in an ambush in the Middle East when Reggie was only 5. Reggie had his dad's photos, his medals, his letters. Reggie's dad was real. He existed. He loved his son, even though he left Reggie way too early. But Reggie had all the proof and the memories. All I had forgotten was the offensive answer about Mr. Tokyo from my mother, who shut down each conversation by saying the subject about her hurt her too much to talk about. I never thought of myself as a person who had a father. Girls on TV had them, not people like me. Dad just had some fantasy created by Hollywood. Mabel caught up to us. She said, my understanding is your father wasn't able to be part of your life in the past. Now he is. What is his name? I asked. Mabel ruffled through some papers in the notebook she always carried. Kunji Terahaka. After all these years of learning who my real father was, I couldn't believe I was finding out from a social worker of all people. There was an actual name attached to this fantasy. Why should I believe this Kunji Tagahara guy is my father? I asked. I mean, come on. Absent biological fathers don't just drop out of the sky. Uncle Musa looked up to the sky. He forgot how he looks. How he took. I forgot how he took statements literally. His English was excellent, but his not so native language. But it was not his native language, and often he didn't often get turned a phrase. Come with me, Uncle Musa said. I'll show you. I let him lead me back towards the fancy car. He opened the back door, retrieved some documents from his briefcase, and handed it to me. Here's your birth certificate. Your father's name is right there. Kanji Tarahaka. There was a birth certificate issued by the state of Maryland with my name and date of birth, mother Brandy Zolena, father Kanji Tarahaka. Uncle Misa held up more documents for me to inspect. You see, this is your mother's signature. Consent of authorizing you to go live with them. This is your plane ticket. Wait, what? You saw my mom when? Uncle Misa said, I haven't seen her. I have been in touch with her through a lawyer. He bowed to Mabel. She saw your mother to get the form signed. Even I haven't seen my mom since she's gone to just a correctional institution 3 months ago. Every week, Mabel gave me the option of going. Every week, I declined. Not ready. Too mad. I was grateful Mom was alive, of course, but her addiction had ruined both our lives. I knew prison was difficult, but how could it not? How could it not be? But to see her face to face would require too painful a knowledge of how difficult my life in foster care without her had also become all mom's fault. I looked curiously at Mabel. Why didn't you tell me any of this before? Mabel said, I was instructed not to in case it didn't work out. We didn't want you to give you false hope. I don't believe you. I wasn't sure if I was to trust Mabel or Uncle Misa or the whole rotten universe. Then you can verify it with your mother yourself. Mabel said, looking at her watch. She's expecting you, and I assured her I would deliver you to her this time. Visiting hours today and at 4 p.m. If we leave right now, we'll get to dress up in enough time. What if I say no? I asked Mabel. Mabel looked toward house number 3. The blind closed suddenly. The chauffeur opened up the passenger door for us to get in. Mabel confidently stepped into the car and go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Well, that's the end of chapter 2 of my almost flawless Tokyo dream life. Um, well, I've been at this hour an hour. I am currently using pillows to prop my laptop up right now. I won't be able to get on Facebook until probably tomorrow to read the chapter 1 and chapter 2 of the books. I hope you all have a good night and know that you're loved. God loves you, and know that I love you.